Hello Bladers, this is BladerZX back with another video. Actually, I'm having my back window open, so there's gonna be a lot more noises than there usually are, so pardon me for that. I uploaded a community poll in which I asked you guys which video do you want to see first. Should it be the unboxing of the First Uranus layer or base, I don't know what it's called, or should it be the review of Deep Chaos 4 flow bearing? And as you guys mostly voted, here I am with the review of Deep Chaos 4 flow bearing. So here I have the bay close to the camera and it is so beautiful. Like, look at the, I feel that the color scheme isn't really matched in all the parts, but still the colors look so pretty on this altogether. So the proper name of this bay is Deep Chaos, and it comes with a 4-disc, a flow frame and a bearing driver. It was a part of the Beyblade God series evolution, if you want to call it that, and it was owned by Cleo DeLone. That guy Cleo, he was like a wannabe vampire kind of guy. He wasn't really a vampire, but still he acted like one, I guess, and I remember that he used to scare the shit out of Kuza. Deep Chaos is a stamina type bay, and it was released in the God Customise Set. That set also contained an Orc Behemoth, 2 Bump Atomic, along with 2 other bays, which were namely a Tornado Wyvern, 1 Meteor Spiral, and there was another one, Drain Fafnir, I guess, 7 Star and Zephyr. So first, let's just go over the bay as a whole, like overview kind of thing. So the color scheme of this bay is pretty vague, because as you can see, the layer entails some sort of a white and blue colored theme, but the disc is not colored and the frame is actually a black. If they would have given it a blue color or something, it would have been amazing. And then the bearing, which is a white and yellow. I don't really get how yellow and black and blue combine in general, but still, I don't know why, but it gives me some kind of a moon kind of vibes. I don't know why, because of the color scheme and the design maybe. Let's go over the parts one by one. The clicks are really loose, so I'm just gonna assault them just like that. So as you guys can see, I have dismantled all of the parts and I've kept them in order. Now I know that they might be kept too far away from the camera, but don't worry, because I'll just be picking up each part and showing them in close-up. So let's begin with the guard layer. The layer is a guard system layer and it's called Deep Chaos, and the abbreviations are DC, which means small d and capital C. The first thing that comes to my mind by looking at the layer is the color, and it reminds me of moon, as I said earlier, because of the white and yellow color scheme. This really looks very pretty. One of the most beautiful looking layers in my opinion, in God Gen at least. I don't really know which is the most beautiful, but still. About the guard chip, it's a black colored guard chip with a golden colored C engraved on it. C means chaos, and you can hold it like this, or this is supposed to be a chaos C, so that's how I'm holding it. So the layer comprises of 2 colors. On the inside is a very deep and encouraging blue color, and in that it has these steel blue eyes, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Now as you can see, the color of this eye is fading away, which means that I'll have to use this layer with caution, otherwise I might just wear down all the colors of the eyes. Then comes this outer layer, which is a translucent white, almost transparent but translucent, and very shiny as well. And this also has 2 teal blue eyes here, and then on this side as well here. So that's with the colors, and the shape is pretty typical, like a stamina type, almost round, although it does have something not really favorable, which is that this part of the layer, this and this, can actually be a very big bane to this layer, because it's actually quite recoily, if you ask me. Like, see, so if this hits, then it might just deal some damage to its own self. And other than that, if you look at it closely, I don't really know if many people have noticed it or not, but it's not a perfect circle, like it's not perfectly round. As you can see, it's kind of an oval, because let's focus on one blade. So this comprises of 2 parts. One diversion is here. I think it's not focusing here. One diversion is here, and then the other one is here, and you can see that this blade over here is a little bit bigger and wider than this blade. This here. I don't know why it's not focusing. Anyway, so it's not really a perfect circle, but still the shape is quite good for stamina types. If this doesn't hit, then maybe it'll be quite good. The bottom of the layer is a plain white with some blue protruding out of there, and the translucent white here, and the color of the god ship from the back. Color scheme is pretty much like based on a white and a blue color, and I've talked about the shape as well. Now let's come to the teeth. The teeth, I would say, are one of the legit worst teeth ever released by Takeda Tomy in any bay. I mean, I understand that this is a stamina type bay, so stamina type bays aren't really supposed to have really strong teeth, but at least they could give it decent teeth. But no, they didn't do that as well. Let me just compare the teeth with two other bays. Here I have Guardian Kerbeus and Orc Bahamut. So the teeth of these two bays are also pretty bad. If I had a maximum Garuda, I would have compared with that as well. And I would say that in comparison with the Guardian Kerbeus and Orc Bahamut, Deep Chaos's teeth are a bit better than both of them. But still, it's not good enough, because this is therefore one of the easiest bays to burst. Like, it bursts in seconds. Talking about the stamina of this layer is pretty high. I guess even higher than Guardian Kerbeus. In same spin stamina also, it pretty much rules if the bay doesn't burst it. And in opposite spin stamina and LAD also, it's quite good. The god ability, oh, I forgot to cover the god ability. So the god ability is that you see this outer ring right here. This has a spring infused. One here and the other one here. So what happens is, it's supposed to go down, be pressed down like this, in any way. It's like swings like that. So what's this supposed to do is, for example, here's a Guardian Kerbeus. Don't focus on that, it's broken, that's why I don't use it. And what it's supposed to do, that for example, if it's spinning and the layer is hit, then what happens is, I don't know how to show it, it's supposed to hit like this, and this will go downwards. So it's supposed to like absorb attacks. And I'd say that from personal experience, it does work if the blader is super skilled. But it's not too dominant, which means that the bay is still pretty prone to bursting. And that is why many people don't really use this in tournaments. Like, in WBO era, when the God Gen was going on, not many people were using it because they weren't really getting pretty good results from it. And some people did use it, but they were very skilled people who knew how to correctly launch a stamina type and who could launch it in such a way in which the God ability would actually be able to save it from bursting. In my opinion, if anyone uses this Deep Chaos layer and he's actually able to do good with this, like it's not bursting, it's outspinning other bays, then definitely that blader is super skilled. Against left spin, it can be really slow. It can be really strong. Again, with the skilled launch. Left spin also pretty much ends up bursting it, but if you launch it well, like with not a very fast launch, not a very hard launch, and not a very, I'd say, ruthless launch, and in a proper angle, then it won't burst against left spins at all. And it has a really good chance of defeating left spins, both maybe a left spin stamina type, maybe a left spin attack type, any left spin, if it has a good LAD driver and some skills. That's it with the layer. Let's just move to the forge disc, which is 4. You can see a 4 over there. So the shape isn't really very unusual. In fact, it's quite satisfying, if you ask me. Like these stripes, I'd call them, and I can see a weird kind of inverted 4 over there. I think it's a 4, maybe it is a 4, like that's what it's supposed to be. And same over here, an inverted 4. And this disc is a pretty basic and a classic choice for defense and stamina types because it's actually good. 4 disc is like really good for, especially good for right spin, stamina and defense, because it's got good burst resistance, it's got good stamina, and because of the good burst resistance, you can use it in attack customizations as well. And about opposite spin, you can use it in opposite spin as well because it has the same properties with the same spin and the opposite spin. Back when this disc was released first time with Blaze Ragnarok 4 Cross Flugel, then this immediately went top tier. I remember people using Drain Fafnir with 4 and Glaive or Cross or Atomic combos back in the days when God was going on, and It's not really the top tier anymore because it has been outclassed by some discs, but in my eyes it's still one of the best forged discs to have ever been released. Let's move towards the frame, which is a flow. So flow is in a translucent black color, which is quite a good color in my opinion, but not really going very well with the rest of the parts. But still, I can see some sketch pen marks over here, and I'm 100% sure that it's in Japanese because it's from Takayama, Japan, so obviously, but it doesn't really bother me. In fact, it's in Japanese, so it's kind of cool. Now, unpopular opinion, I don't really think that flow should be a good disc for stamina, and in fact I don't really get why they released 4 as a stamina type with stamina type base, because look at this literally looks like it's made for some Valkyrie kind of combo, like these wings going towards the exact opposite direction from where they need to go, so when it spins it'll be like all attacky and stuff, and it'll just cut through the air when it's spinning, and might be good for attack, not very good for stamina in my opinion when it comes to right spin, same spin. And this is, I guess, prone to damage because you can see this is quite a 3-sided disc, I'll say, because these 3 over here and here are a little bigger than these and these. I hope you can get my point. But in opposite spin, I guess that it should be pretty good both in attack and stamina, because then these like while spinning towards the opposite side, the left side, this should be good. I don't really have much to say about it. Not really a big fan of this flow frame. Let's just move towards the driver. This is the part that most of you have been waiting for, because I certainly have. This is the best and my favorite part from the entire bay. This is the driver bearing, which abbreviates for BR, which is a capital B and a small r. Do I even have to say much about this driver and how awesome it is? I mean, everyone knows about it. I mean, it's such an awesome driver. I mean, one cannot just help falling in love with it. But since it's a review, I gotta go through it. So as the name suggests, this is a bearing driver in which it is a simple driver, just that it has a conical shape over here, which is made of POM, white in color. The rest of the driver is yellow, which again is not matching with any of the other parts. Ignore that stupid crow, guys, I cannot really stop it. Anyways, the main part is my watch is vibrating, sorry about that. The main part is that this conical POM part over here is attached to a bearing, which you can see as the metal surface over here. Surface, not service, I'm sorry. And this is the speciality of this driver. This free spinning bearing driver, this is so good in terms of LAD and stamina. In fact, the LAD of this driver is unfazed, and it beats any of the known LED drivers, be it Revolve, be it Atomic, be it Destroy, or even be it the almighty Eternal. So bearing, when it came out, it was like a game changer because it was so good, one of the best drivers ever released. Now obviously this has a downside, because otherwise it would have been overpowered, which is that the spring is one of the weakest springs ever released on any driver, which means that it is definitely the easiest to burst driver because of the spring. I don't really need to explain a lot about this driver because obviously it's pretty self-explanatory, bearing, and everyone knows about it. But there's a little fault in the bearing driver that I got, which is that mine is a little bit slanted and it's not properly straight, which means that it doesn't really spin very well because it's not properly mounted onto the bearing. Now this surprisingly doesn't really make much of a difference. Like when I bought it, I was quite tensed that it might just be bad, but it wasn't really like causing a lot of difference in the performance. Yeah, this slanted part, this does hinder the same spin stamina by a bit, but the opposite spin stamina and opposite spin LAD is still unfazed because the free spinning gimmick is still working. Now this driver was first released with Deep Chaos only. In fact, Deep Chaos was the first bay to ever have the bearing driver, and obviously it was released by Takayama for the first time. And after that there were 2 or 3 more releases, and one of them I have. Where's my other bearing driver? Yeah, here it is. This one is the grey one from Volborg, the plastic remake, and this one is not as good and free spinning as this one. As you can see, I am comparing them to roughly over here, and this doesn't really spin as well as this one. You can see my camera is not focusing, and I hate these scooties, man. So the bearing driver is one of the most competitive drivers ever released, especially in terms of opposite spin stamina and LAD game. When it was released, it found subsequent uses with layers like Spriggan Requiem, then Arc Bahamut especially, and even Drain Fafnir, because that's how good it was with left spin. Now, people don't really like to use it in right spin. Even I don't like it, because in right spin, it's just too easy to burst because of the weak spring, and that's completely justified, because otherwise this driver would have been OP. Other than that, if not considering the burst part, then even in same spin, the stamina of the layer of the driver is amazing, and it can outspin some same spin stamina types if it doesn't burst. So that's pretty much it about the driver. These are all the parts of the bay covered one by one. I just noticed that my luck got beaten up once again, because my flow frame isn't really very tight onto the 4 disc, and it's not in the disc, it's in the frame that it's very loose. So I'm tightening it and it's not really very tight, it's very loose, so it might just come out in battle, so I'll have to be careful with that. And here I'm having the complete bay fully assembled. See, I just swiped my finger like this and it's out. Anyways, first I'm gonna unclick it and we're gonna hear the sound, and I'm gonna judge by that how strong the clicks are. So here we go. 1, very weak. 2, even weaker. 3, okay, little bit stronger than the last 2, and the weakest of them all. So the teeth are horrible, as I said, and I don't know what to say. In fact, after looking at the teeth, I was pretty much sure that this is going to be the outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, no particular difference. The clicks are just the same. I'm here with the stadium, the launcher, and the bay all here, because this is test spin time. For the first test spin, I'm just gonna launch it like a normal stamina type, not very hard but not very soft. So there goes nothing. 3, 2, 1, go. See, as you can see, the movement is kind of stable but kind of wobbly as well, because of the slanted driver and these birds, because it's kind of like, because the driver is slanted, so that's why it's moving like that. But still, you could see that the slanted part of the driver was causing some problems. But if it was a normal bearing driver that most people have, this time I just turned out to be unlucky with the slanted driver. But still, you saw that the movement was still not very bad. Now I'm going to launch it with power, so that we can see how unstable it really goes, because I also don't know for a change. 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa. Whoa. See, that's what the slanting is causing, but still it's not losing a lot of stamina, and now it's stable again. So that was quite amazing. Better than I expected, even with a slanted unbalanced driver, so that's pretty amazing. I'm doing these separate tests because my bearing is a little faulty. For the third test spin, I'm gonna have Deep Chaos go up against a left spin zombie combo, which means a spin stealer like Drain Fafnir. So here I have Drain Fafnir 8 cross atomic, a combo that I just threw up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna launch Deep Chaos slow, because after all it's just gonna be a spin steal match, so it doesn't really have to be that fast. And after launching Deep Chaos, I'll be launching Drain Fafnir with a hand spin. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot. Slow launch, as you can see. And then, what the hell? You see, that's how easy to burst Deep Chaos is. Now they're gonna steal each other's spin, and let's see which has more LED. Although I know that bearing is gonna have more LED, but still satisfying. See, bearing just outspun Drain Fafnir on atomic. So in the fourth and last testing round, which I'm doing just for fun, I've made this Deep Chaos 4 atomic. All I've done is that I've just removed the flow frame because it was too loose, and then I've paired it up with atomic, because such a bad teeth this layer has got already, and with that I was using such a burst prone driver like bearing, and also wearing it down by using it every single time. So I just made it a little more safe, and I'm gonna test it against a very well launched Storm Spriggan with stock parts, knuckle and unite in attack type motion. So I'm gonna give Deep Chaos a moderate to strong launch, not very strong. First finish. Completely annihilated. See, that's how easy it is to burst. That was my review of Deep Chaos 4 flow bearing. I'm sorry to do this so late. I know that I should have done it much earlier, but I was too low on time. I mean, exams are going on, and now exams are coming again, and so much stuff going on. So I didn't really have time. But still, I hope you like the video. You're satisfied with it, because it's been a long time since I've done any unboxing or review. And then I also have to do that First Uranus layer unboxing as well. So I'm gonna be back with that video soon enough. Thanks for watching. CX out.